All right, we're back working on the Jeep. One of the things that I have looked at doing for a long time is replacing these rear fenders. So part of the issue with the plastic fender is that they fade over time. So the sun really gets to a point where it really makes them discolored from the rest of the paint on the Jeep. The other part of it is the fact that the plastic fenders don't provide you with any protection. So I am a metalcloak fan, and I have a lot of their suspension components, and I like a lot of their body armor, and we're going to check out how to install the metalcloak rear overland fenders on a Jeep JL. If this is something you're interested in, please stick around for the video. All right, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Driveway. I apologize for the wind. There's not much I can do about it. But today we are going to go over the installation of metalcloaks overland tube fenders. Now, one thing I have to say about metalcloak, these things came wrapped in bubble wrap and protective plastic, and shipped in a box that was also filled with great packing material. They arrived quickly and without any damage at all. So I did pick the steel ones. They are powder coated. I did not pick the aluminum ones just because of the cost, and I'm kind of partial to steel and their strength. So what it comes with is both fenders, all the hardware you need, and since we're going to be using plus nuts or rivnuts, which install into a cavity where you can't get a nut behind, they do provide you with a rivnut installation tool. But I happen to have the Astro rivnut and plus nut gun, or rivnut and plus nut tool. I use it extensively in our van project, and so I will use that in place of this. I'll put a link in the description below for that kind of stuff. So the first step is we have to take out the inner fender liner, and so it's plastic and held on by a bunch of rivets. And there's here, there's one up here, and then we have to, once we get that out, it exposes the plastic clips that hold the actual fender to the body, and then you got to break those to get it out. So you won't be reusing any of those things, so don't worry about breaking them or tearing anything, because this is the tool that you need to get some leverage to break those pins. But understand that what it will do is leave you without an inner liner, and so you'll have to look at a different solution for that. We're going to be using metalcloak's aluminum inner liners for the fenders to cover that space back up. I've ordered them, they just haven't come in yet. All right, so we're going to start by popping all of those plastic rivets off. I'm just going to use this tool. All right, so the inner fender liner should pull right out. And then what that exposes are these white clips all along the inside. And all those need to be broken out. So I'm just going to pop them off real quick, and then we'll lift the fender off. All right, with all of them out, we can pop this fender off real fast. Now it should just lift up. So what you have behind are the rest of the clip bases. And those all have to come off, and then we'll bring the fender out. All right, so we got everything off and got everything cleaned up. So now in metalcloaks, the directions, they provide you with some locations to over drill the holes that don't have a back, and that's what the rivnuts are for. And we're gonna go and mark those real fast based on their instructions. All right, so based off of the instructions, these holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all have to be drilled out in order to receive the rivnuts. So we're going to get our drill bit and drill those holes out, spray them with some paint, and then we'll be ready to do the rivnut installation, and that I'll show you. So the rivnuts are pretty easy to install. So we drilled out the hole to 17 seconds. And then basically we're just going to thread this on our tool, and then I'll show you how we do them. So we just thread this on. Till it gets close to the base, and then we're gonna and the squeezing of this starts to compress the rivnut. We just do a little bit at a time. Until it's nice and tight. And that's basically it. It's super simple. The tool makes it nice and easy. They make pneumatic ones, which make it easier. But if you don't have it or you don't want to rent one, they do include a nut with a bolt that'll help you do the same thing. So we're gonna get the rest of these installed real fast. All right, and just like magic, it's done. So you can see them all like that. So now we have to test fit the fender, and we're just going to loosely bolt it up because we got to mark all the other holes that we have to drill out to 3/8 for the other bolts that put this fender together. Based on how this thing goes together, there's a tremendous amount of bolts that bolt this fender to the Jeep, making it super strong. Knowing that the plastic one was just held on by clips, and this one's going to be held on by almost 14 bolts, I would say it's strong and durable. All right, so we just put it loosely in place. And metalcloak puts a nice bend in it to follow the body line. So what we gotta do is we gotta mark all of these holes so we know which ones to drill out, and those gotta be drilled out to 3/8 so that the rest of the bolts can fit. So I'm just gonna take a paint pen and just mark those holes real fast. All right, so we drilled out the holes that we marked, and we used a deburring tool to clean up the edges, and then we have painted them. So there's a hole there, 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 and down there. So with that, we're gonna let everything dry, and then we're gonna put the fender up there for its final time. We're gonna use some Loctite on the bolts for that go in the rivnuts, and then there's a nylon lock washer for the others. All right, so we got those all set. So we're just gonna go ahead and get the rest of the bolts that have the nylon washers on the back, and then we'll get it all tightened up. All right, there it is. So the other side is just a rinse and repeat. Pull out that inner fender, pull off the fender, bolt it up, everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and get to that, and then I'll show you all the finished product. All right, and we are done. Here is the passenger side. You can see how the inner fender, now that it's gone, all of the stuff that's exposed. So it's almost a necessity if you're buying these fenders to get the inner fender, because the liner will no longer work, and so you have to have something in there. So metalcloak does make a system. There are a lot of people that make systems. I'm going to buy theirs. Like I said, it's on the way. I just don't have them yet, and you can bolt them up without messing with the fender. But I really like it. I'm happy with the product. Everything fit like it was supposed to. I know I feel comfortable standing on these things now, and if we bump up against anything, I know it's not going to shatter into a bunch of pieces. So hope you guys got something from the video. Oh, these fenders, they cost about $6.50 with the powder coat black. You can get them plain steel and paint them yourself. You can get the aluminum, bare aluminum, or you can have the aluminum powder coated. I just chose the steel ones. So I'm really happy. I like the way they look. I think we're going to do the front next. So hope you guys got something from the video. Again, this is Dan from Fisher Jeep Adventures. Give me a thumbs up if you liked what we did. If you're interested in more of the stuff that we've done to the Jeep, please check out the channel and see some of the other stuff that we've done modification wise to the Jeep. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.